Alright everyone, it's 12 o'clock. I'm in Costa again. I'm just meeting with a friend because I'm leaving and, you know, we're just having a bit of a chit chat. And then afterwards I'm gonna, you know, finally get my haircut done because it's all over the place. That's why I'm wearing cappies, which makes it really easy. And then I'm gonna have my sprint workout, my third one, which I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, and then we'll see what the day holds. I mean, I need to answer a lot of questions. I'm pretty much aware of that. So this vlog is going to be a bit different, and I will have more time soon to make these vlogs more interesting. You know, it's like I'm very much aware of that. So please bear in mind, I'm still working full-time as a personal trainer as well. So that's why, you know, I need to somehow get my life sorted. But I can't wait to freaking leave the UK. And yeah, I hope you're excited because someone asked me, are you still going to be vlogging? Yes, I am, and you're going to come with me on my journey. And it's going to be Germany, LA, Bangkok, loads of stuff to come. So make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. So it is 3 o'clock. I'm back home. I got my hair cut and I think it's alright. You know, my hair is now sort of the length I like it, so I can still get the ponytail in. I still can get sort of my, you know, hairband on and wear a cap. All good, all done. Thank you, James, if you're watching this, for cutting my hair. Right. The thing is, I had a bit of an accident today in the gym. Not accident, but I pulled my hip flexor, so I need to abort my training, and this is all due to my own fault. The reason being, guys, I told you I'm very, very busy as a personal trainer, so I only have a certain amount of time for myself to train. Now what I did, and this is something I would not recommend, but I needed to do that because I didn't have any other time in the day to do this training. So I only had an hour window. Now the thing is, if you warm up thoroughly and so on, it's all fine, but I like then to, you know, after the warm up and so on, maybe it's like 45 minutes the whole session, then you need to get dressed again, shower and so on, ready for the next client. Now what happened is that in the fourth run, I actually pulled my hip flexor. So I actually really could feel by lifting my knee, I could barely lift my knee afterwards. So it was really shit. It's my own fault because I didn't warm up properly. I'm not sure if I can continue this whole, you know, challenge. But what I will do is now for Saturday, Sunday, might even Monday, give it a rest day. Maybe just train upper body, like, you know, some handstand stuff, push-ups, pull-ups, all that stuff, you know, what you see me do. But I'm not going to do any sprinting, which might affect my time in terms of performance, which I wanted to do or test on the next Saturday. But you know, guys, I mean, this is what I said when I started this whole challenge. Because it's the nature of a challenge, we never know what really happened. So this is what happened. So I'm here honest as always, tell you what's going on in my life, and not trying to cheat or do anything. I pulled my hip flexor, now I need to see how I can deal with it. So I'm going to use Voltaren, going to put that onto that area. Give it a bit of a rest in the bed, so I'm not going to move around. Now I need to do some work on the laptop, write some emails, actually cut the video. And then later on I'm going to try to walk to the cinema again, because Star Trek is out and I'm going to be watching that. Alright, so it's 8:20 now. It's 6:20 now, and I'm actually cutting the video now, starting for tomorrow. I'm not sure, I do feel after this rest that this injury might be a bit more intense than I thought. But we'll see. It's at the beginning when you pull a muscle, it's always like that. I had that many times at sports uni. You know, it's something you can't predict, it just happens, and yeah, I just have to deal with it now. But anyway, I just want to give you a little update. I had a call with my mom, which is pretty cool, because I'm going to be visiting her in Germany, and we sorted some stuff out, which is pretty great. So I'm looking forward to actually going to Germany by the end of next week. So I'm really excited because in Germany we're going to be traveling around from Berlin to Hamburg to Cologne to you know, all sorts of places. So that's going to be really cool. And I'm really looking forward to this because this is going to be then turning into a travel vlog. What do you say? Are you with me on that? Alright, so while my video is exporting, I'm going to answer some questions. Now the next one is from Piyushuyawa. Is definitely not right, but that is how I need to read it. Anyway, so he's saying, and that's basically on my 1000 rep challenge video. He says he can only do 12 push-ups in a row, and then he needs to rest, let's say like 20 minutes, and then he can do 12 again. And so he said, so what would I say he should be doing in terms of developing reps, and how long should the gap be in between the time of each set? Fuck, I need to close this window. There's too much idiots outside. All right, that should be better. So in a nutshell, he's saying I can only do 12 push-ups. How can I increase my push-up range? Basically, what I would say, you don't need to rest for 20 minutes in between your 12 push-ups. I mean, if you do 20 minutes rest in between your sets, then you're going to be working out for 12 hours a day, right? So that doesn't make any sense, but I guess that was just to make a point. Now, in terms of if 12 is your absolute maximum and you're like totally exhausted, you're not able to do any more, they need to drop down, or you need to vary your push-up exercise. So let's say do them on the knees, make them easier. Do them on an let's say if you have a bed, you put them on you do your push-up on a bed, so you incline push-up to make the exercise easier. Therefore you will be able to increase your reps if that is the goal. But overall the question is really, what are you looking for? Building muscle, losing weight, getting in shape, you know, competing in a push-up competition. I mean, you know, we need to know what is it that you are looking for, and then I can actually specifically tell you how you should train. That said, in terms of rest time, what you normally do is if you train, let's say for hypertrophy or for strength training, and you go your max out, so in terms of bodyweight training, that would be if you do to failure, then you would have something between 2 to 3 minutes full rest period to be able that your nervous system also recovers, because it's not just the muscle soreness in terms of lactic acid, which needs to sort of compensate and get out of your muscle again. It's also that your nervous system gets stimulated to an extent when you do heavy lifting, for example. But heavy lifting and push up to failure is very similar in terms of muscle activation and what it does to your muscle. That, you know, I mentioned that study a couple of days ago, so just go back and have a look at that. Yeah, so rest times 2 to 3 minutes, or you go down into rep ranges, so you do less, you know, you don't push up to failures. So the way I do it is I go about feeling very much. So if I do a push-up set and I go to failure, whenever I feel ready to be able to do that again and to hit the same amount of reps I did to failure before, I start again. And that could be for me 1 minute rest, it could sometimes be 3 minute rest. It depends what have you done before. So generally this whole thing of where people say, you know, you see that a lot, and that's what's getting taught out there, saying, you know, you should have at least 60 to 90 seconds rest between your sets. And that's absolutely bollocks, because at the end of the day, everyone recovers differently. And these watches, they're really great because, you know, if you have Usain Bolt who sprints 100 meters, or it's me who's sprinting 100 meters, or an obese person who's sprinting 100 meters, we all will recover differently to do the same thing again, right? So saying, oh, we all now need to rest 60 to 90 seconds is absolute bullshit, right? But I understand why it's out there, because, you know, we need some sort of guidance, some book needs to be written, we all need to learn something, so that's why. But in general, if you haven't been experienced with training and people, it isn't just the number in terms of the rest. It is how you feel and how your body reacts to, you know, to recovery. Next question comes from Teshin Ryu Dojo, I think. Anyway, this is how people reacted to me, by the way, when I was doing shows on stage, martial arts shows. They always came up to me and says, Mark, you know, I was in martial arts and this and blah blah blah. Anyway, let's move on. He says, I'm used to doing 300 sit-ups, 300 press-ups. I do 25 each and then, you know, switch between those. And after that, he does 200 high face round kicks each leg. And he says that's part of his everyday normal training, and he's 35 years old. Bam! That sounds like, I don't know, this sounds a bit hardcore to me. I mean, I do these challenges because I want to challenge my body, but if you do that now, ever since you started training, and you do this like day in and day out, what do I think about that? I think, generally speaking, thumbs up for having the determination to be able to sustain something like that, because I've been doing these rep ranges now for a long time, and it ain't easy. So thumbs up for that. When I read this, it rang a bell, because I used to train a lot in different gyms and dojos, and especially boxing gyms. And what they do is they, for example, they put you onto the punch bag for you know, let's say 1 minute round, and you go punch it out 1 minute, and then in between that set, you go down, you do push-ups, and you do sit-ups, you do push-ups, sit-ups for 1 minute, you get back up, you go onto the punching bag, and you punch the shit out of the bag, which is a, you know, don't get me wrong, it's a freaking fucking awesome training. You sweat like a pig, and it's, you know, it is good. But that said, there is probably a better way of just doing sit-ups and press-ups all the time to, you know, increase, let's say, punch strength or something like that. So I appreciate you sharing this with me, and I appreciate you doing this, but also the high face kicks, you know, in terms of practicing high or practicing your kick, obviously it's about repetition, don't get me wrong, but it is also, you know, in terms of when you actually fight, kicking into the air just like that and kicking into the air with an opponent or in real life is totally different. Now when it comes to the high kicks, the round kicks, it is important to keep practicing the kicks over and over and freaking over again. So doing a high rep ranges of these kicks is great, but I would probably not just do the high round kick. I would probably vary and think of all the kind of kicks I have, and maybe do 20 low side kicks, 20 high side kicks, then round kicks, spinning kicks, and so on, if this is something which you think is good. Now I know a lot of Thai boxers, they don't freaking fucking care. All they do is they have their one punch, like jab cross low kick combination, and that's all they practice because that's how they defeat their opponent. Fair enough, do that. But in my opinion, I always practice both sides, like you're doing here as well, which is great. So keep doing that. Yeah, I actually don't know if I answered your question, so I appreciate you're asking it. Let's move on. Holy shit. See, this is how we're gonna tune out today, with the mouse running in the freaking is it jumping? It doesn't. It freaking fell off. Anyway, punch the like button, punch the subscribe button. I'll see you guys tomorrow.